Okay, good morning. I'm Kate. I'm here with Mark and Mary-Nell Gleeson. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being here. So I'll start by saying that we are talking in April, which is National Volunteer Appreciation Month. So I want to thank you for all of your service to the LEED Center and to the community. We know that our volunteers, in addition to being indispensable for us at the LEED, also usually do a lot of other stuff in the community too. So we thank you very much. We'll give a hand to all of our ushers.
Yay.
So to start off, I just kind of wanted to ask how your relationship started with the LEED Center and what made you decide to become volunteers.
Yeah, I was the one that started. I retired before Mark, and I had some other, and I was a teacher here in Lawrence, and I had some other teacher friends that I knew had done it and had spoken positively about it. So that first year I did it by myself and enjoyed it, but I would on a Friday night feel badly about leaving Mark at home. So I twisted his arm a little bit and plus Mark has a music background, and there would be shows I would go to that I would think, oh, Mark would appreciate this so much more than me. He knows this stuff. And so I twisted his arm. He was still working at that time, but we started signing up for shows together most of the time. We didn't always, but especially like if it was, a weekend show or something like that. And so that's when we started. And then the first meeting, the volunteer training we went to, they also mentioned that they needed drivers for performers to pick people up at the airport. And he loves to drive. And I was like, that sounds like that's right up your alley. So that's also been one he's really enjoyed, and I like hearing the stories from. So
yeah, that's been tons of fun.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So
I seem to remember. Did you all even go to Kansas City to see a performer the next night after they had played at the LEED Center?
Yeah, that was Annette Cohen.
Cool. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah. She did I think with the KU Jazz Ensemble, she had done some mentoring and then did a performance, but then her group was at the, not the Blue Room, but the place across from the Jazz Museum, whatever that place is called. And
that's really cool.
It was amazing. And
that's really cool.
Yeah. And watching her perform and work with the KU Jazz Ensemble, those kinds of things are just really unique that we probably wouldn't have gone to,
right, the Jayhawk, those Jayhawk Live performances. Yeah, the collaborations. Yeah, they are really, really cool. Yeah. Well, that kind of segues into a question I was going to ask you a little bit later, but I know there's performances that maybe that you're going to be excited about, but those performances that, you sign up to usher and you stay and you watch, sometimes those end up kind of being a surprise. So are there performances you've seen that are either your favorite shows or ones that have kind of surprised you a little bit, how much you've enjoyed them?
One that stuck in my mind when I thought about that question was, I did a school performance, and unfortunately I don't remember the name of the group, but it was like the history of hip hop, and it was for middle schoolers. And I was like, okay. And it was totally fascinating. It was the evolution of hip hop dance from the early days, and the people just did a great job, and it was something that the middle schoolers really connected with. And
peace, love, and respect for everyone. The only time that I will look down on a person is when I'm lifting them up.
That one really stood out. The black violin, two guys, they were not a show I would have probably gone to, but they were amazing. And we've been able to go. We always went to performances as guests, and we still do. We'll look at the season, and there's certain shows you don't want to miss the beginning, or you just want to be able to go and relax. And so we still always do that, but we definitely, the number of shows we go to has quadrupled.
Oh, yeah.
So,
that's awesome.
So we enjoy that. What about you?
Well, I can't, this is where, because we do go as guests and we usher, and the Color Purple was one that,
yeah, that was very good.
Yes, just the quality and the message, but really the quality of the performers in that one really was just exceptional.
I agree. That cast was incredible.
Yeah,
that was a very high quality production.
Yeah. And there are some at the I think the jazz series, maybe the patron.
The pavilion
performances are really stunning, because it's such a small venue. You don't need a lot of ushers, but being able to usher those performances in the pavilion has always been a lot of fun, and just really top-notch artists. So.
Yeah, those are. What's that? Judy Heath.
Judy Heath is the one that really stands out for me, because I actually saw his brother perform, Percy Heath, when Percy Heath was a bassist with Modern Jazz Quartet, and saw them in 1972. And so it was fun to see, Percy Heath's younger brother, Judy, who was just such a hoot. So
yeah, he's charismatic.
I'm looking at Mark's notes here. One other thing we should mention that we never would have done, except as an usher, was doing the naturalization ceremonies.
Oh, absolutely.
Those are so moving to see the families and just how excited they are. And I mean, it's very emotional to be part of that. And again, it wasn't even anything that would have ever even been on my radar.
We loved being able to help with those.
That just stands out too for me, the naturalization ceremonies, and see all the countries. I mean, I don't know how many, but probably close to 100 countries.
Oh yeah, usually over 100.
So they're big events.
That's a great point, because one of the other things I wanted to talk to you about are people in the community know that we have Broadway shows and concerts and dance events and things, but as an usher, you really get to see all of the different kinds of events we have, from campus lectures to something like the naturalization ceremony, kind of those events that serve the community. So what is that like when you're an usher and you might come one night for, the Color Purple, and then the next night for next morning for something that's totally different? The powwow, right.
Yeah. I really like it. I think what it does for me is it brings the Lead Center closer to the community than it otherwise would. Because you get all these big events that come through, big casts, big productions, big sets. And then you get the dance recitals, the big dance recitals with all the little kids, from 2-year-old to 17, 18-year-old.
High school, right?
Dancers. Yeah. And you really see how that space is used in a way that is different from the big productions. People are, milling around and having snacks in the lobby and whatnot. So it makes it a little more
and I
personal.
like your word community, because I think that takes us out of just being a performing venue there to being a real part of the community. And I love when we have an event that brings people in who have never been in the Lead Center before.
Me too.
We have, we have the regulars that, are there for, the concerts and the
everything
classical or whatever. And you see people from Lawrence, but I love when they walk in and look around and they have no idea where anything is. And I'm always really proud of the Lead Center. I think it's a real testimony that a town our size has a facility like that.
Yeah.
And
Red Green was like that.
Yeah.
People came in that never would, have come in. And Kansas, when the band Kansas came through, that was another group that brought in, packed the house.
I've never heard the lead singer so loud. That was a rocking night.
It can, yeah. We can get rocking with it.
It was standing room only at the back of one of the balconies.
Yeah, it was one of the few times we couldn't get a seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, do you all have a favorite usher? We ushers do all sorts of stuff at the Lead Center, from scanning tickets to helping people find their seats. Do you each have a favorite usher assignment that you're hoping I get to do this tonight?
I do like the variety, and there's you're always it's customers first. Making sure the guests feel welcome.
I like scanning.
You take the ticket scanning.
It keeps you busy. I mean, you're really usually busy. Strangely enough, I like will call. I guess I like just having a lot of contact with guests and stuff. My least favorite is probably inside the house. I always get a workout.
Yeah.
Walking up and down
the stairs.
Yeah, I like scanning at the front because that's where our friends come in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's busy, but I do enjoy all of the different jobs, and I like working the doors. I like helping people, seeing people come in, and everybody's usually in a good mood, and so yeah.
Well, you made me laugh because
I also, one of my secret delights of having been an usher is learning all the little back ways and, secret doorways and where they go. And that's been fun.
Yeah. And I thought really one of the best things that you guys have done as staff is
for
training was tell us about the emergency procedures and where people are exiting and shelter in place and where all those are. It was really the first time I had been in all of those places, and it made me feel better about being there and being able to help people because emergencies do occur.
So we did do the walkthrough, emergency preparedness walkthrough, a year or two ago. And I agree that's we can talk about what the procedures are and where to head, but actually walking through the building and looking at all those exits, it is surprising.
It's a complex building, and there are a lot of passageways that you don't normally go to. You do the normal thing, but it's good to know there. Oh yeah, here's another exit, and here's
absolutely.
That was fun.
And as ushers, when we would get to our station, because usually we get put at the same station or close by, we always where is the exit? Where would we go in an emergency?
Where's the fire extinguisher?
Run through that before guests start coming in.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we that's one of the things that we rely on ushers to have some knowledge about. So we do really appreciate that. I was going to say earlier that I was laughing when you said, Mary-Nell, that you get your workout in, because as staff members, everyone who has either a Fitbit or an Apple Watch or anything, there are nights when we have our competition at the end of the night to see who got the most steps in.
I can see that because they're always on the move. The house, they're never. I mean, a lot of times as an usher, you do have your periods where you're in a location directing people or whatever, but they are always getting flagged down and running up and down. Good fitness.
But
that's also one of the things that I appreciate most about being a volunteer is that the support that we get from the staff. And you're always around. Derek's always around. The house managers are always there, and you make it real clear that if we run into a problem as an usher, guests get double seated or, whatever it is, then we can always come to you guys and hand it off. You take care of it. And then we can get back to the more routine duties of greeting guests and helping people find seats and whatnot.
We try to provide that support. I know it's pretty hectic sometimes, but I also did want to say that, yes, there are very active usher positions, but we if you're not able to maybe run up and down the stairs 45 times during a shift, we have plenty of
right
that are available. That are a little less.
I think there was one point I had fallen and I was in boots and I worked a door one day.
You didn't fall at the lead.
No, I didn't fall there. I fell at home on the stairs, and for a while I didn't work. I had to cancel, but I think I was able to come back once I was a little more steady. And you guys accommodate. And there was another usher I remember who she was on crutches and she still had her door and she
wanted to come.
She still wanted to come and stuff. So well, there's definitely all ages and everybody, and people are usually, I know there are some other ushers who really don't like working the scanners. They don't like the pace. And you guys are always really accommodating to, if somebody's not comfortable, then they can find another place. There's always flexibility. So
we definitely try to be. Well, I will go ahead and ask if someone's thinking about volunteering at the Lead Center or maybe hasn't thought about it, but loves to come for shows. What would be your selling pitch to an uncertain volunteer?
Well, I think two thoughts come to mind. One is the thing I probably love the most about it personally is that opportunity to see things that I never would have seen before. So I feel like it's good for me because it's kind of broadened my perspective on the arts. And then second, you guys make it very easy you don't have to volunteer twice a week. You can do just a few shows a year and see whether it's something that suits you. And you're also really good. I remember at the beginning when I didn't know what I was doing and it was all new and I didn't really know any other ushers. The house managers that did the assignments always paired me with somebody that was experienced. So I never, ever felt like I was just thrown into the deep end of, and it's not rocket science. It's not like it's that hard to learn, but it was just, you don't want to represent the Lead Center poorly. So it was good to have that, being able to have little baby steps.
Sure.
And then I'm also I feel like it's a great way to be representative of Lawrence and our community and the arts. And so that's my pitch, I guess.
I love that.
Yeah, it's just a great way to get you out of the house. And I think, now that we're trying to figure out how to do that again and do it safely, I think ushering is just like Nell said, just a really good way to see things that really sometimes you want to see them, and but some things, you're not sure, but they really turn out to be gems. And let's face it, not every artist that comes in is going to be in that role forever.
For everybody.
Like college athletes, they're going to be doing something else. And so it's nice to be able to kind of test things out. And if it's not something that grabs you right away, you're not committed for an entire evening. You can leave at intermission or after people get seated. that we haven't done that very often, but we've done that a few times.
Sure.
Or when we've got another commitment or something early in the morning. So,
and the sign up is very easy and flexible, and you can make it fit your schedule. We pre-COVID, we still traveled, we still worked around all of those things, and so it's, I know there are ushers who literally go south for the winter, and they work, early fall and spring, and they and you guys are great about that. So it really is suitable for, and like I said, Mark worked Mark was still working when he started, and didn't work as many shows as when he was,
I'd work weekend shows
after he was retired. But so I think a lot of times people think they have to be retired to do it, and that's definitely not true.
Yeah. That's true.
I love the mother-daughter team that does it. And the daughter's got to be just barely in her 20s, and I thought, well, that's a cool thing that they come and do that together. So it's an option for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad you pointed some of those things out. That we do still have ushers who are working or who are students on occasion, and we love the variety. Well, I know something that came up earlier and has come up a couple of times that's really important for the Lead Center is kind of that connection to community. And I know that the two of you have a lot of connections to the Lawrence community, and you do a lot of other volunteering. So will you tell us a little bit more about some other things you've been doing, and even during the pandemic, kind of some of that community work?
Been taking care of our granddaughter.
That is big.
That's big.
Yeah, she didn't start preschool because of COVID, so that's been ours. Mark is a much more of a voluntary person than me in general. I've done a little bit. I was subbing, and that also went by. Wayside. But Mark does quite a bit.
Well, I do some. I still do some Boy Scout stuff, but they're mostly things that can be done on Zoom. I'm not doing much in person. I'm still working for Heart to Heart International and doing some volunteer work for them, centering around COVID vaccinations and COVID testing, and preparing for disaster response.
And have you been have you done a little traveling for that even?
I have not. I wasn't going to travel until after I was vaccinated.
Of course.
And we had a very limited response to Hurricane Laura in Louisiana, because responding to a hurricane is just so much more difficult. We can only put one person in a car and one person in a hotel room. So we only had 3 individuals who responded, one volunteer, one staff person, and then a driver for the mobile medical unit. And we basically just parked the mobile medical unit down in St. Charles and let them operate out of it for about 6 weeks, and then brought it back. So I still do sound operator for Plymouth Congregational Church. But I'm up in the sound booth all by myself. In an empty church with wires strung all around for video cameras. And but I think we'll be starting back in-person services sometime in June.
We've really been we've been very locked down.
It's
in our bubble, and so we're looking, now that we're vaccinated, we're starting to, I shopped at Target for the first time in 15 months that I didn't just phone and pick up. And it was like, I was grabbing stuff off the shelf. It was, so we're really looking forward to being able to resume some events, and looking forward to seeing what the Lead Center figures out. And it's nice to see people, and I'm very proud of Lawrence. We're the most vaccinated county in Kansas. Yay.
It does make going back easier.
Right.
You know, when we do have a high vaccination rate, a low positivity rate, and you know, people wearing masks, and we have done like a little bit of travel to
cabins,
places where we can really control, you know, who are around, and it's obvious Lawrence is really special in that way. In Douglas County as a whole, you know, we do see high participation in masking and you know, high vaccination rates, and so it does make us feel better about you know, going back out into the community and re-engaging.
Absolutely. Well, we miss the ushers. We miss, you know, obviously we miss shows and having audiences. But you know what, many of our ushers, we've all known for decades or 5 or 10 years, and it's really fun to see, you know, which ushers kind of gravitate toward each other and talk and catch up, or which ushers have other community connections or go to the same church, or, you know, volunteer at Theater Lawrence together. So, you know, we miss not only the shows, but also our whole kind of extended staff at the Lead Center. We will be very, very happy when we can start safely getting a little bit more back to normal.
Well, and if you need volunteers for any vaccination events at the Lead Center, let me know. I don't know about now, but I've done enough with my N95, and you know, I'm really good at directing and organizing traffic. Lawrence we did 3 events in Lawrence in July, and we were ranging somewhere around 50 to, you know, anywhere 30 to 75 people at an event before that, and then we had over 1,100 in 3 days in Lawrence. Wow. So we got pretty good at managing traffic. But yeah.
Well, awesome. I'm so happy to talk to you and catch up.
Yeah.
Do you want to say
anybody?
I know. Do you want to say hi to the Lead Center folks and the other ushers?
Miss
you.
We miss you guys and look forward to getting back together.
Some of you I think I've spotted, but I wasn't sure with your mask on. You guys take care and keep us posted.
We will.